Hello everyone, welcome to Geki's review of Yedo, a game by Thomas van de Ginste and Wolf Planche, distributed by Pandasaurus Game. So Yedo is a game set in medieval Japan, which deals with worker placement and auctions, plus variable objectives. It's a game that I have conflicted feelings about. There are periods in which I like it a lot, but I almost traded it away in multiple occasions. Why? Mainly because problems with the number of players. I will go into details later on. Just start. Let us start with a quick overview of what the game is about. Yedo takes place on this huge but beautiful board. It's divided in two parts. Well, beside the scoring track and the turn order up here. The scoring track runs around the board, the turn order is up here, but the main part of the game takes place on these two parts. Up here you have the auction part that begins every turn. You will auction off the different items. Every player can only win one of the items. And then you will move to the worker placement part. The city is divided in 7 districts. You can place people in any district you want. You place one at a time. You will have very few workers. Usually you have 3. You can go to 5 tops. And there is a guard, city guard, that moves around and basically tries to arrest people that are performing actions. Players have a certain degree of control on where the guard will go through action cards, most of which deal with getting arrested or moving the guard and things like that. Other things that you can get are bonus points at the end of the game that depend on combination of stuff that you have, weapons, buildings, geishas, missions. And missions are the engine of the game. What you will do will be drawing some of these missions. They go from green, the easiest ones, to black, that require far more stuff but provide you with far more bonuses. The upper part is just flavor text. Then you have the standard that tells you all the requirements and the bonuses for the mission, and then usually they have a bonus if you have additional stuff. And as you can see, for an easy mission you just need to have a guy somewhere, in this case in the inn down here on the board, and pay some gold. While for the black mission you will need to have guys in 3 different spots, have already built 2 rooms in your dojo, discard a blessing, and have a combination of weapons. The interesting thing is that while most of the stuff get discarded after use, like money and blessings, buildings and geishas and weapons stay there. So when you win the auctions for them, or when you purchase them through worker placement, it is usually far more expensive, you are actually setting up yourself to be able to do more and more stuff through the game. The game lasts 11 turns unless someone completes a particular mission that says end the game, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. The game has everything it needs to be a nice game. The components are stellar, absolutely gorgeous. The meeples are okay, and they are by far the less impressive thing on the board. The missions are very nice and oversized. The cards are clear. The weapons are nice and detailed. You have the rope, this weird weapon, I don't even know what it is, and so forth and so on. Everything is gorgeous. The gameplay is very well thought out. You have varying spots, with some getting unavailable due to the guard. You have your action cards a la Loads of Waterdeep. You have both currency that you can gain and lose, and requirements that, as I explained, you gain and you have from then on. The game has a limited number of turns. Once you know how to play fast enough, you usually can go under 2 hours. This is not a fast hour like Stefan Feld Euro game. It's a legitimate 2-hour game with a lot of stuff going on. You will have to painfully decide where to place your little guys. There are not that many different actions, but you have very few guys, so it's hard to come by, and often the same action cannot be taken by 2 players, even after you have played your workers. So when you place your workers, you have to wonder what the other player is going to do. You will be gathering money, more stuff, trading points for money and money for points. I like it a lot. So why did I say I have some problems with it? The problems are with a low count of players. The game says 2 to 5, but in order for the auction part to work, since each player is limited to winning 1 auction every turn, they devised this trick in which the 7 items that are up for auctions every turn are divided in 3 color groups, and when you are playing with 2 or 3 players, you auction for 1 group, and then the winner chooses one of those. But still doesn't change the fact that often when you play with 2 players is, I bid on this, okay, I outbid you, you outbid me again, and now I get the other thing for the basic price, which is not, I think, how the game was conceived and meant to be. But they had to make do with the limited amount of players. So I really love this with 4 or 5. I find it kind of dull with 2 or 3. Also because the spots on the board close up with these little very nice, once again, tokens to reduce the number of spots available on each district. But at the same time, they cannot solve the problem of I just have to see what you're doing and do something else. Even the competition for the weapons in the market is not that tight with 3 or 2 players. But this said, let's focus on what is good when you have a full amount of players. It is, as I said, it has certain similarities with Loads of Waterdeep, in which you have action cards that can do stuff, but you rarely get to steal resources from someone else. It's more about the guard, so you know that the guard will be a problem. The cards are more balanced, they are less wild. You get them and you can play them, and they usually do something good for you, or they can stop someone else from taking something that you need. So it solves the problem that I think Lots of Waterdeep has, in which, oh, I will do something to damage you just because I have this card and I don't know how else to use it. And that usually results in one of your actions being wasted and someone else is gaining from it, not the target of your action. And while here the cards, you just play them once you have them, so it's easier to get rid even of cards that don't do anything good for you. The turn track, there is a standard that you can change the turn order with one of your actions. You can gain more mission, you can get 1 point. Blessings, you can get them to use them for missions. There are a bunch of varieties of missions, so you are never sure what your opponents are going for, but you know that certain things, especially dojo rooms, geishas, and weapons, will be coveted by a lot of different players because they're useful for a multiplicity of missions. You will have hard choices about the missions. Should I go for the yellow and green that give me a big amount of money and a quick way to get resources, or should I stick with the red and black missions that require time? I will get less bonuses, but I will get the points that I need to win the game. And even inside the mission, each mission has a standard requirement and the bonus requirement, and sometimes you will want to get both, or sometimes you will stick with the standard because the bonus requires more time and you rather start another mission already. And this is a very nice thing. It's something that is not common in most worker placement games. Again, it was in Lords of Waterdeep again, but the variety and the different interaction between the different components of the game make these missions, in my opinion, far more interesting. The theme is nice, nothing special. The missions make sense if you see that when you fight you need more weapons, when you have political intrigue you need more geishas and blessings and those kind of stuff. The game is deep enough that if you have not played it before you will probably lose to a more experienced player, but not super complex, and after 3 or 4 games everyone should be on the same footing. I really like the game every time I played, even with 2 or 3, but now I rather play something else with 2 or 3, and I would wait for someone to play with me when we are 4 or 5 players. This doesn't happen very often. A 2-hour long Euro-style game is not super hugely popular, but if you have the kind of group and the kind of friends who are interested in these kind of things, look no further. This is an excellent game with those caveats. High number of players, long time commitment, and quite thinky. You have limited actions, so you must make the most of it, and money is limited, weapons, you are limited in both how you can get them and how many you can get. But if you like this kind of involvement and you have the right number of players, this is a perfect game for you. And the theme and the art is superb. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please let me know if you disagree with it or if you liked it. Both are fine. And see you next time for another review in Geki's Review. Bye!